Yeah, joining me right now is D.C. trial attorney Michelle Thomas and retired U.S. Navy Captain Armen Kurdian. Thank you both for being with us and making time today. It is very, very exciting to see this race continue to build in terms of momentum with 80 some odd days to go until November. Pennsylvania is President Biden's home state. So there's a lot at stake here for many, many reasons. And just weeks ago, President Trump did have the lead there. So should we, and I'm going to start with you, Michelle, should we actually take this change for what it's worth, just a minor blip on the screen, or should this be significant, especially at this stage of the race? Michelle?
Sure. Good afternoon, Adrienne, and thanks for having me. This is significant when you look at the ground that Vice President Harris has gained in such a short period of time. We're talking about in less than 30 days. She has been able to close the gap in Pennsylvania and take the lead in some of the other swing states. And so I think that she's serving notice to the public and certainly to the Trump campaign that she is not to be taken lightly and that she is certainly a viable contender. And I think that's what we've seen from the Trump campaign is their fear that she is going to, in fact, win and take the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But I think these are serious numbers, and it's an indicator along with the numbers that the fundraising numbers. I believe, has now over $400 million that she's raised since July of 2024. And those numbers speak volumes.
Well, those numbers, it's interesting. I was just looking at different reporting out, just over the past few days. And there are a lot of influencers, particularly Black influencers in social media, who've said they've been offered cash to pronounce their support for Vice President Harris and the Democratic Party. Armen, do you think this is going to get messy? Because there are some who are saying, I'm not to be bought. I don't want to speak because you're giving me cash. Others are actually taking the money. But could this become a problem for the Democrats?
Hi, Adrienne. Thanks for having me. It's very unethical. Now, if they want to pay for actual political advertising, you can actually do that. And if they want to become employees of the Harris Walz campaign, they can do that too, and they can go through the formal process to make that happen. But just paying somebody for influence and going on speaking about you is unethical, and it probably is a violation of several campaign finance laws. With regards to the numbers that we talked about, I would caution everybody to remember back in 2016 and 2020. The national leads that Clinton and Biden had over Trump in the popular vote, Trump beat those. I mean, he obviously lost the race in 2020, but he significantly outperformed what those races were, and he outperformed what the polling were in the battleground states. I think he was maybe down by 4 points in the final poll for Pennsylvania, and he only lost by about a point and a half. So you have to remember there is a bit of a hidden vote there for Donald Trump. But of course, at the same time, with respect to the Democratic Party, they do have I would say, still on balance, a better get out the vote machine than Republicans do. Republicans want to wait until Election Day, which actually ends up costing them some races, and Democrats are fully bought into voting early. So a lot of factors are going to play into this beyond the simple messaging and the ideologies and the policies of the two candidates.
Michelle, I want to ask you about fracking, because that's something that has come up time and time again between these two leading candidates for their respective parties. It provides millions of jobs in the U.S., particularly in Pennsylvania. And Vice President Harris has been pretty vocal about being anti-fracking, of course, due to the environmental concerns that her party is very much invested in. Will this hurt her? Will she be able to walk that line with the working class vote in Pennsylvania?
Well, I think what we've seen from the Harris campaign is that she has begun to move away from some of her initial positions she took when she first ran for president in 2019. And so while she did stand firm on certain issues such as fracking, her campaign has demonstrated an evolution in her thought and her vision for the future. And I think it still remains to be seen exactly where she will fall on that line. And maybe we'll hear more about it at the DNC next week in the speeches in terms of where she stands. But she, to this point, has not done anything to alienate those workers, certainly in Pennsylvania and Texas and other major oil states or commonwealths. So I think momentum is very strong for Harris. We've seen her base broadening. She's appealing to both moderates. Certainly, we've seen Republicans for Harris now. And so the momentum is there, and I don't see her having alienated that group of people as it stands based upon her policies.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.